Hard Knocks offseason with the Giants is on. First episode was last night. I liked it a lot. It was really, really good. 800-636-1067. Give me other things that need the Hard Knocks treatment. So my first answer, it turns out, I just looked this up during the break, already exists, and I didn't know it. I cannot wait to watch this. It's called Sprint, not the cell phone company. It's about sprinters. Netflix is doing a behind the scenes. I find the track and field world ultra fascinating. Number one, I love fast Americans so much. You guys know this about me? I cannot wait for the Olympics. I like when Americans are fast and other people are slow. I like it when there's a race and Americans finish first. I love it when Americans finish first and then they finish second. And then they're hanging out next to each other on the medal stand. I love it. That world of sprinting, criminally underappreciated here. Internationally, it's much more celebrated on the regular. We celebrate it every 4 years for the Olympics, but everyone else, I'll say everyone else, a lot of other countries are way more tuned into the World Championships, Pan Am Games, all the different competitions that are out there. And we sort of do it once every 4 years, learn about these folks, then kind of, they kind of go back to maybe the margins of sport. I would love to know about gearing up basically for one track meet over years. And think about if you're that star that could win a medal and you got a hamstring tweak 7 weeks before competition. Like how heartbreaking and devastating that is, because there's no other time to do it. It's like you got to be ready right now when the gun goes off. But so they already have it. That was going to be my idea, was to watch sprinters. So maybe I'm either a genius or way too late. I'm going to go with genius because I thought of it and I didn't know that it didn't exist or that it existed already. So I'm going to say genius. Rhino, what needs a Hard Knocks?
I'm going to go with boxing. I think boxing right now is obviously kind of like one of those dying sports, but even then it's got like this deep, rich history.
That's a great one.
Of guys that like Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson.
So not just like the 24/7s they do leading up to one fight, but like following several boxers.
Exactly.
And
before a fight.
Yeah, like the shenanigans of I'm going to get paired with this guy, but this promoter wants this guy. This person's different. I'd love to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so like I just think that right now, like it's a dying brand.
Yeah, it is.
And that is kind of just like the unfortunate thing, because I do think there are personalities out there that you want to follow, like Gervonta Davis, who's from Baltimore, I believe. He's one of those guys where he would be really cool to follow around. And I think a lot of people would learn a lot about boxing. And also, I think it would kind of get them more into the sport because it's a dying brand right now.
We got to make it a little bit more mainstream. I like that one. Let me grab a couple of these phone calls here. 800-636-1067. Carlos in Alexandria. Los, what else needs a Hard Knocks?
Well, I've got three, including two in-house. One is how Ryan comes to his answers. I think following Ryan around would be awesome.
I'm actually with you on that. We have pitched that to network execs. They haven't returned our calls, but like in-house Odyssey, we're trying to put something together. Just every once in a while, just ask them a question. Like, what's that? Why is that there? I love it.
Yep. Darius in vocal school.
Him teaching?
No, him learning.
Oh, him learning, going through that process. Because you don't become a singer like he does without that kind of work. You're right. Go on.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's obviously a lot of work put in.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is I actually have a name for it, and it's called Tools of Ignorance. And you mic up a catcher for an entire MLB game, mic and photo, or put video up. And you catch the entire game from prep, warm up in the bullpen, all the way out as almost a full length movie, getting all the repartee with the umps, with the opposing batters, with the pitcher, with the manager between innings. I think it would be a fascinating piece.
Carlos, that's a great idea. Almost like that Spike Lee Kobe movie. Remember that one where it was just like, we are going to follow him for all of it. Prep, lead up, shoot around, in game, the whole 9 yards. That's a cool idea, because Major League Baseball had one that didn't really catch on a few years ago. I think it followed the Phillies bullpen that people didn't really watch, and I think it was just okay. I think there's a level of access that you have to grant in order to get this off the ground, and I don't know if they did that altogether. Let's go to Tyrone in Manassas. Tyrone, what do you got, bud?
What up, man? Hey, I got a couple real quick.
Go.
I'm thinking hockey, because I'm a casual fan. I love the Caps, but I only really tune in like playoffs usually. So give me something that follows the team, whether it's like half season or whatever.
Love that.
But similar to NFL. But then my other one, which I think would be really cool, because the only time you really hear about horse racing is Derby time. So give me like a Hard Knocks Kentucky Derby, and I want everything on all the entrants in that year's Derby, and then just
Oh,
follow them from like leading up to the race, and then give me the little post race.
I smell what you're cooking there. So almost like those 24/7s, like, leading up to the Winter Classic. That hockey teams have done that before, like, the prep and some of the behind the scenes has been really cool. But for the horse racing one, that's interesting because obviously the horse isn't talking to you, but everybody else is. Like, what should the horse eat today? Well, he ate a little bit extra yesterday. We want to pack on some pounds because we know he's going to need some energy for this weekend. Do we want him to eat the hay? Do we need to deworm this month? Like all those kinds of things that go into it that the rest of us peasants have no idea about. I like that. That's a good one. 800-636-1067. Darius, you got one? Something that needs a little Hard Knocks treatment?
So I'm going to go a little off the beaten path here and do something non-sports. Is that okay? Is that okay with everybody? Everybody okay?
Should we look around the room? Judges, can I roll out? Yep.
Okay. How about a Hard Knocks on video game development, for example? I feel like you get documentaries and behind the scenes and things like that on TV shows and movies. Why can't video games fall in that department? Wouldn't you like to know
Yes.
the behind the scenes and the how to and the why and the decision making on some of your favorite video games and why decisions were made in certain video games?
1,000%. And if I've learned anything from this period that we're in, you don't have to be a gamer to appreciate it. Because the type of thing that you're talking about, where I didn't care a single iota, whatever the unit of iota is, I didn't care about Formula One racing. I cannot wait for that show to come back. I now will casually check standings and things, but I mean, I don't I'm still not necessarily tuning into the races, but how good that show is got me interested. Again, I've already said I don't care about golf, but I'll watch the next season of Full Swing. Same thing with tennis. I'll watch that. I will watch these documentaries and the way these things are so well put together that I've watched entire season-long things about teams I've never seen play in the English Premier League or like the Champions League or whatever, trying to make their way up to the Premier League. I've watched all sorts of stuff, and it's wonderful. The best show, or one of the best shows on regular television, non-pay subscription type thing, is Welcome to Wrexham. It's amazing. And Wrexham is in the lowest, or they were in the lowest professional division in all of soccer. Like, it was basically semi-pro at that point. And they made that must-see television. All in. So that video game one that Darius mentioned, I think would be fascinating. Because with people, the non-gamers, this is all foreign to you, so bear with me for a second. Video games cost and earn, on average, more than movies do now. Are you with me? The amount of years of development, cost associated, everything from voice acting to the graphics to story, they're now bigger and more involved than they've ever been. They gross more and they cost more than movies because you're basically now playing a movie in a lot of cases, right? You go through these plots and stories, and these different parts are acted with the cutscenes and even in-game acting. It's real stuff. Like the guy that played in the Force Unleashed video games, which were awesome, by the way, a little bit glitchy, but still really, really good, about Darth Vader's secret apprentice. That actor who played Starkiller, who was Darth Vader's apprentice, goes on to be an actor in all the animated Star Wars stuff, playing Darth Maul. Like, that dude is a legit actor, is my point. And he's getting his start decades ago on a PlayStation 2 title. Like, they've only gone further ahead since then. That grind, that crunch, that we got to get this in. I want this character to do this and not that. I think that'd be fascinating. I mean, it would be hard to open to a bigger audience, but I think gaming has become so ubiquitous. Maybe you would find something there. I think that's a good one. Let's go to Anthony in Calvert. This is a great answer. Anthony, what do you got?
Hey guys, thanks for taking the call.
You got it.
I'm not trying to dumb down or pee on the Wheaties, so to speak, of your intro to me, but I don't watch it. I don't know anything about it other than it's fake. But I think wrestling would be really cool.
100%.
See all the ins and outs of how they set up, the matches. Hey, you're the heel. Hey, you do this, and hey, if the crowd does this, this is how you react or something. Another one that I don't participate in, but I think it'd be interesting to watch is golf, because you could have the caddy going, hey, this is Kentucky bluegrass, it's cut a little dry, it hasn't rained in a week. This is how the greens are going to do this, or this is zoysia grass, or, the wind's coming off the ocean, like all those little things leading up to tournaments, to set things up. I think it would be interesting.
Anthony, thank you, buddy. So the golf one, there is something like that. It follows individual players. It's called Full Swing. There have been 2 seasons of that on Netflix, but he's talking about something maybe a little bit different, like on the course type banter, where it's, hey, you're 165, but the wind's blowing against you. You want to try to hit it, high with some backspin with an 8-iron, or really crush a 9-iron. What do you want to do? Those kind of things would be interesting. I'm with you. But to me, wrestling is the answer. Now, I don't know that you'd want to totally do that. This would be an interesting crossroads kind of moment. Again, I'm with Anthony. I don't watch it anymore. I haven't in some time. But it's the kind of thing where everybody knows, right? Work, shoot, kayfabe. These are all expressions that we're all familiar with. And we know it's choreographed. We know it's scripted to a degree. These guys are acting, performing, doing athletic feats. And the stories are great, but that's what they are. They're stories. We all know that now. They used to have to pretend. Now I think kind of that's the mask has been pulled off, so to speak. I wonder if they'd want to go all in and give away the business in that way, though, and totally demystify it. I would find it fascinating, by the way. Like, you got Triple H, the other kind of writers, the executive committee going, no, this guy's going to betray this guy at SummerSlam. But what if we had him do this, and then this guy comes out and hits him with a chair? Those kinds of script meetings after the fact, I think it'd be fascinating. Breaking the news to guys, like, okay, we're going to have you drop the belt here, but then you'll win it back there, or our plan is to push you over this. I think that'd be really cool.